I'll be real honest with you. First of all, I'm lecturing off of the podium, and I'm not real sure what this thing does, but we'll give it a shot. This is probably, very likely, the most difficult talk that I have ever given in my life. I should be an absolute nervous wreck, but thank goodness it's about 3 hours before I normally even get up. So, I'm just about 3/4 of the way asleep. And I'm kind of glad that we did it in this room because whenever they gave me the assignment or they asked me to speak, it was one of those deals. It's like, holy crap. I don't have a book to teach out of. I really had no idea what to do. And whenever I heard it was in Lade Hall, this was great. And just to start out with kind of a funny story, the class that I'm probably the most known for here at Drury is the human sexuality class because that's what I teach the very most. And I will never forget, I tried to teach that class for years and years. They finally allowed me to with Dr. Z, and I will never forget, it was an early morning class, not a good start. I'm walking across campus. I'm a fairly new teacher here on campus, and I don't even know where I'm going to teach usually the first day until I look at the schedule. So I'm like walking across campus, and it's like, okay, I'm teaching sex for the first time. I'm a nervous wreck, and I am teaching it in Lade Hall. But it went pretty well ever since. But what happened was, whenever Sam asked me to speak, this is the most difficult task that I have ever done, at least in the area of teaching, because it's your last day on earth. And it's kind of like, I hate to say it, if it really was my last day, I would be in my house with the 3 people I care about the very, very most. But they said you could talk to your students, and I thought, well, what would I tell them? They don't want to hear about my life. It's like I grew up in London, I hunted and fished, and But I got to thinking about it, and so I have tried to play this out absolutely to the T. Because if this was my last day on earth, well, I'll talk to you about the topic here in just a minute. Number one, this would not be well prepared. Because I'm sorry, whenever they told me what was it about, where did Sam go? I don't blame you for running. What was it, about 3 weeks ago you asked me to do this speech. And I got to thinking about it. Okay, if I had 3 weeks to live, what would I do? Well, I wouldn't be writing a whole lot of speeches. So I just got to thinking about it. The way I put this together was I tried to do it as if I was going to die. I wrote down a few ideas. It is unorganized because this was my last day on earth, people. I thought about wearing just shorts and some hemp shoes and a t-shirt, which is what I really am like. But then I got to thinking, well, I don't want to die looking like that, so I would literally probably wear this to die in. I was going to wear a tuxedo. No, seriously. I don't. But I've gotten too fat for it, and so I didn't wear the tux today. Now, I will honestly tell you, I have not prepared this, because I figured if last night was my last night on earth, I'm not going to be sitting around and, preparing a talk. I'm going to be watching Family Guy and crap like that. But I have no idea how long it's going to take. It is not rehearsed. But it's not because I'm lazy, because some of you guys who have had my classes, whenever I'm going to speak in class and I'm being, I'm trying to convey information, I try to make it picture perfect. But this, I got to thinking, there are 2 people in my life. And there's one, Ty the teacher, who dresses like this crap, and I use my arms a lot, and I talk loud, and crap like that. Then there's Ty the person. And I got to thinking, if I'm going out, I don't want you to see Ty the teacher. I want you to know who I really am, And so there's kind of a crossover. And hopefully I won't cuss too much. But I just found out that cussing, I read on the internet, they did research, it lowers pain significantly. But, so what I did was, I pretty much wrote down a few things, and it was kind of disappointing because my whole life, the last thing that I want to convey to my family, because my students are my family, was only like 3 pages. And so I made it in a bigger font because I can't see where it's crap. So it's like 5 pages. And so this, I got to thinking about it. What would I want to tell my students on the very last day? Well, just to simplify it, have fun every second you can in your life. From point A to Z, have as much fun as you can, But that only takes about 10 seconds, so there had to be more meat to it. And like I said, if I had to describe, the last day of my life, I can honestly tell you, and this is really depressing, but it's absolutely real, what I would have liked to have accomplished in my life, and I know that I probably never would, but I would have liked to have been the individual who ended childless. Because that is kind of my passion in life. 1 in 3 of our children are being raped in some way, touched, and nobody's doing crap about it. I try in my classes to bring it up. I try to get people, excuse the Lebanon language, but riled up a little bit, and things like that. And I've had 2 or 3 students tell me they've changed their careers to help children because of my class, which is one of the most, honorable things or honoring things that happened to me. But I didn't end child molesting. Well, apparently, if I was going to die this afternoon, what would I want you to remember me for? And hopefully it's not dildos and stuff in my sex class, although that's probably what I'll be remembered for. But I kind of try to boil it down to just very simply put, I like to help people. That has been what I love to do. I like to make people smile, and I like to help people. Well, I got to thinking, how can I help my students on the last day of my life? Well, I'd like to give you a whole bunch of money and all of that. It's not going to happen. But I got to thinking, I would like to be helpful to you in some way. I would like for you to take just one little piece of information away from this, and if it makes your life a little bit better, I've met my goal. So, what I tried to do is I kind of looked back at my life, and there are millions and millions and millions of life lessons, people. And your parents have told you, a penny saved is a penny earned. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably isn't. And all of that. Well, what I tried to do is sort out those little things in my life, the few most important, and kind of let you know about them. Try and save you some time. Because what I tried to do is I tried to put myself in your place whenever I was your age. I know that if I was standing up here at your age, well, I'd be crapping myself. And to be quite honest, at my age, I kind of am too. But, like I said, I kind of wanted to go through, I've learned a few lessons over the years. And a lot of these dang lessons, I wish somebody a little older that I could have trusted would have just told me and saved me from going through a whole bunch of crap. And like I said, hopefully it'll save you some time, make your life a little bit better, give you some shortcuts and things like that. So that's pretty much what the whole lecture is. It's crap I have learned up to 49 years old. Am I still learning? Yes, I am. Every day, but like I said, I figure if this is my last day, this is the stuff that I've learned in life. I hope it helps you. And like I said, it's a little depressing because I'm coming in and preaching to you, but hopefully it'll save you a little time. One lesson that I've learned is, and this is pretty much, I've had people ask me, why do you act like you do, or why do you do the things that you do? I'll just be real honest with you, people. I like simplicity. And I like just simple rules to live by. And the rule that I live by, and I truly try and do this because for some reason, in about the last 10, 12 years, I grew a conscience. And I am starting to feel guilt and stuff like that. I'm like, I was a sociopath in college, but, you know, it was one of those deals where, you know, I can't lie. And to be very honest with you guys, the number one rule that I live by, and I don't want to get all religious on you and all that crap is, it's simple. Just treat people like you'd want to be treated. Whenever somebody walks into my office and, you know, they're doubled over and they're like, I don't know if I can make it to class, I'm like, go home. You know, that's easy. That's the way I would want a teacher to treat me. That's why I treat my students the way I do, is because that's the way I like to be treated. So, that's the number one rule, and yes, it is Jesus' rule, and if you're not one of those religious people, George Carlin also went by that rule. Well, no, seriously. He came out and he said that apparently he was one of the richest guys in Hollywood. He was a very successful comedian, and whenever a new comedian would go out to visit him, he would open up his home, he would feed them, he would treat them like royalty. And somebody said, why do you do that? And he said, I just treat people like I would want to be treated. And so, I was saying, was there any water anywhere? I would really appreciate that. I usually lecture with water, or vodka, or whatever. Which explains a lot of my lecture. But what I really felt was ironic was that George Carlin was one of the biggest atheists in the world, which I had absolutely nothing against. But he lived by Jesus Christ's rules, so I don't think he would like that much. But now, one other thing I want to tell you, and a lot of this is depressing, folks, but like I said, I hope it helps you. One thing that I have not, or that I have found is, the world is not just. And I know that a lot of people are going, oh crap, I came in here to hear that, but we are taught in Christianity and Jewish faith and almost all things, God rewards the good people and punishes the bad. That runs on underneath, unconscious. And we treat people differently this way. Bless you. I think it explains stigmas. Whenever a woman is raped, people feel differently about her, even if it wasn't her fault or anything else. And I really truly believe that it's that belief in a just world. Something underneath is going, something bad happened to that person, they must have done something. And like I said, even on the conscious level, you realize this crap happens, but it is not a just world. To me, in a just world, there wouldn't be child molesting. And more or less, politicians would not vote to give billionaires, well, the right to not pay taxes. But it makes sense. So, like I said, if you go through life expecting good things to happen to good people and bad things to happen to bad people, no, it doesn't work that way. Because really bad things happen to really nice people, and I know a lot of jerks in the world that's never had a bad day in their life. So don't expect it to be a just world. Also, another thing that I try and live by that I have found that has made my life much, much easier is, and I do have a lot of quotes in here, because keep in mind, folks, I'm not going to tell you anything new today. You already know this stuff. I'm just trying to highlight it, bold-face it, and do the italicize on it, to make it stand out. Maybe, it'll help you a little bit. But I do have a lot of quotes, because I absolutely love reading quotes from people, because these people are a lot smarter than me, and I can learn from them. And one thing that Mark Twain said was, if you tell the truth, you never have to remember anything. And that is the absolute truth. I'll be danged, because I read it, because I really, excuse the language, have a shitty memory. And, if you always tell the truth, it's automatic. You're just like, somebody asks you, where were you? Tell them. And if there are areas of your life that you are having to lie about, you might think about that. Especially if you're on the job and stuff like that. Because like I said, I have gotten to a point, and it has got me into a lot of trouble in class. Somebody will ask me something, and I just tell the absolute truth. exactly how I feel. So my advice is, tell the truth. Not because it's the right thing to do, but it'll save you a lot of trouble later on. You don't have to remember a lot of crap. So, now, the next thing is, and this to me is probably some of the best advice that I have ever read, well, I actually heard it on the radio. It was from Paul Harvey. He said, get a job you enjoy, and you'll never work a day the rest of your life. And I know that, yes, jobs suck. You do the same thing over and over and over again. Well, keep in mind, if you hate it, you're going to be miserable the rest of your life. And I know there are people who go into jobs, and it's like, I'm going to make $1 million. Yeah, but you're going to die 15 years earlier because of a heart attack doing it. So myself, I am absolutely, completely blessed. I mean, I love my job. It is the best time of my day, bless you, other than spending time with my family. Whenever I walk into the classroom, I try and have a little fun, and I love it. But how many of you guys, and I'm probably talking about a lot of your parents, get up in the morning and go, oh, crap, I hate this. That's no way to live, people. You might make less money, but it's your life. And so, and by the way, well, a lot of jobs that, make the most money, by the time you get to that point where you can enjoy that money, you are so programmed and that type A personality, I got to do this. Well, you retire with your millions of dollars going, and I guess that would be nice, but I just as soon have less money and be able to relax. Now, also, this is something that I'd like to tell all of you guys. Enjoy your youth. And I know that you're going, well, you're not an old man or anything like that. Yeah, I'm up there. I know that whenever I was your age and I looked at people my age, I'm going, oh, dude, where's your walker? But enjoy life right now, people. You're young. Your bodies are in good shape. And a lot of you guys have that. I had it. I don't know what the devil happened to it, but you just eat anything you want, as much as you want, and you don't get fat. If you have that gift, celebrate. Because right now, I walk past chocolate donuts and a little bowl of hot salad. Enjoy that. And also, too, like I said, I become friends with my students outside of class at times, and there was this one couple, they both went to law school, absolutely hated it, and I'm not saying anything about law school, it just wasn't for them, they dropped out. And they got really depressed, and I think, medication was involved, and I just told them, right now, people, how many of you guys know what you're going to be doing in 5 years? 1 or 2 people, yeah, a few people. The rest, you're scared to death. It's just like, holy crap, I don't know if I'm going to get a job, I don't want to live with my parents, I hate being a sausage, and so, yeah, I know the rock bottom. And actually being a sausage is 2 or 3 cups. Because then you go down to macaroni and cheese all the time, and when you can't afford that, you have to do student crack. It's a food. What is it? Ramen noodles. I cannot stand ramen noodles. But whatever the case is, you've got to look at it from a different standpoint. Because do you know what I'm going to be doing in 5 years? Same thing I'm doing right now. I go in, I do the same thing over and over again. I love it, but I'm going to go home, probably watch the same damn episode of Family Guy, because it's only regular too. And, I know mine. I hate to say it, folks, after you get a little older, it's kind of boring. It is monotonous. Your lives are an adventure ahead of you. You don't know where you're going. You don't know what you're doing. I envy that so much, you know. And by the way, the couple I was talking about, it'll work out, folks. You have a step above everybody else. You're going to Drury. It is the cream of the cream college, and especially you motorboard. I didn't get into honor society. But for those of you guys in mortarboard, you are the cream of the cream. You have your whole future ahead of you. Don't worry about it. Enjoy being young. And another thing I would highly recommend is enjoy the lack of a family. Because well, no, serious. Because the one thing is, I wanted to tell you guys, wait to have children. Because this is what we did, and it was one of the right things I did, I think. Live your life first. Because whenever you're going with somebody, there is dating, there is engaged, there is married, and there is married with children. Number 4 has nothing to do with 1, 2, and 3. Because, keep in mind, and I am not telling you children are bad. The best thing that's ever happened to me in the world was the birth of my daughters. I knew well last night at about 6 o'clock I would disagree, but because there are moments you hate life. Quite honestly, you know, you've got the 2 kids, they're trying to kill each other, and it's like, didn't you kids kill each other? And so, but enjoy life before you have children, folks, because with your relationship, to me, whenever you get married, and yes, I know marriages are just like disposable lighters these days, but keep in mind that hopefully you are going to marry your life mate. And I hate to say it, I gave this lecture last night about love. My wife is my best friend. And we get along, we have a very good marriage, and all of that, and we enjoy our friendship. And whenever you do marry somebody, folks, enjoy each other for a while. You know, travel, do whatever you want to do, and all of that. Because once kids come along, you are no longer a spouse, you are a co-worker. And, you know, people just take an unplanned pregnancy, very lightly. Ooh, children are a blessing. Oh, yeah. But no, children are the result of having sex without using contraception. That is what causes children. We figured this out a couple of weeks ago. But, like I said, parenting is one of the greatest things in the world. I love it. But enjoy your relationship before the kids come along. And also, too, let's see here, like I said, parenting. Oh, and as far as parenting goes, folks, really, and this is kind of my own theory, and I'm sure somebody else has thought it up a long time ago, but I truly believe whenever your children are planned, you are better parents. Because whenever, to me, it's like the scariest thing in the world. I mean, we planned ours, they were textbook. And, I teach the shit, man. But it is the scariest thing in the world. When somebody hands you this little thing, it's a little human thing, and you are 100% responsible for the next 18 years. 18 years, 9 months for you ladies. And that is a terrifying thing. It's like, if I leave it alone, it will die. It is a heavy-duty responsibility. Your whole life changes. You don't go to movies, you don't go out to eat, you got to go to kid-friendly restaurants, and the problems with those things, other people's kids are there, and it's like, So like I said, enjoy life before you have kids. And also, too, as far as parenting goes, quite frankly, I really do believe you will know when you're ready for children. Because whenever I started getting into my late 30s, it's kind of like, okay, I figured it out, I'll be 60 when they're new, you know, and all this. You'll know. And I think that whenever you're ready to have the children, folks, just follow your instincts. I'm not a real nature person. I'm more on the nurture side. But I really do believe if you just kind of listen, allow it to happen, you will be a good parent. Especially if you're ready for the children. And if you're not a very good parent, well, there's a bajillion books out there to tell you how to do it. So, now, other things, do your best in everything that you do, folks. Now, I know you're going, wow, that's a real, I've never heard that before. Not for this reason. Because to me, whenever you do anything, always do your best. Now, is it to build character and make you a good person? No. It is to save you from guilt later on. Because if you think about it, yeah, I believe that my number one rule in life is CYA. You know, you gotta cover your butt, people. And if you do your best in everything, then you don't ever have to feel guilty. Because myself, I have been in relationships where I hurt people. And I have hurt people very, very badly. And there's parts of me that I hate because I did that. But whenever I think back, I did my best. I was a younger person, I didn't have as much experience, and I was also, well, there were tons of things going on in my life. My dad had passed away, the money situation was horrible. I did my best. Now, does that mean that I would not like to apologize to these people right now? Well, I don't even know how I'm supposed to and how to answer that. Yes, I would like to apologize to these people. I would like to find them on Facebook and go, look, you know, I hurt you really bad, but under the circumstances, that's the only option I had, and I did my best. I'm not real sure how well it would, be taken, and I'm not real sure if the police wouldn't show up at my door that night and go, "You're some kind of freak," you know. But like I said, always try and do your best in everything that you do. And let me look here. Like I said, if this was my last day, this is probably exactly what I would be doing. And also, too, take responsibility for your actions. Because and keep in mind that a lot of this is humanism, there's some Weber, there's some Durkheim thrown into this. It's just stuff, I've learned through my classes and such. But, always take responsibility for your actions. And I believe the old saying goes, it takes a very big person to apologize and realize that you did something wrong. Or you hurt somebody. So I would advise, just be honest, and of course, take responsibility. Now, also too, something that I live by is, if you agree to do something, do the very best you can at it. Because, keep in mind, how many times have you asked somebody to do something, and you can tell they really don't want to do it, but they agree to, and then they, half-ass it, and all of that. Don't agree to do it unless you're going to do your best. That is like with this lecture. Whenever I agree to do it, I know that it looks unorganized and stuff like that, but I did it to try and stay in character and stuff like that. But if you do agree to do something, no matter what the payment, you agreed to do it, do your best. I call it character. Because I know a lot of people, if they're not making much money, they'll go, well, they're not hardly paying me nothing to do this, I'm not going to do a good job. Well, you're a slob, and that's not good. So, like I said, I think you'll go a lot further by doing your best when you agree to do something. And I just stuck this in here, but one of the number one things in life that pisses me off is if you tell somebody you're going to be somewhere, folks, at a given time, be there. Or with me, and I know the younger people are going, oh, I don't want to do that, and the older people are going, I hate people like that too. But, you know, on myself, I'm always late. I have no idea why. I could have left the house this morning at 4 a.m., and I'd have got here whenever I did. But if you do tell somebody you're going to be there, try to be there around that time or call ahead. And so that felt good. I know you probably didn't enjoy it, but it got it off my chest. So, now, the next thing, and this is very important, folks. If you need help, ask and get help. Because I know right now, you guys are young. And I was your age. I had a lot of problems whenever I was your age. I mean, you know, I worked my way through college. Money was tight. I wasn't the brightest light in the harbor, so I had trouble with my classes and things like that. And, you know, I had some problems. But once you go on in life, they just keep piling up, especially whenever those little babies pop out and you're like, you got all kinds of problems. Don't be afraid to get help. Because in our country, you know, I think everybody thinks that everybody else is perfect, but them. We all have problems. And even myself, whenever my mom passed away, I have a friend who is a counselor. She's one of the best counselors here in town. She said, Ty, do you need to talk? And I said, yeah, probably. So I sat down, and it really wasn't so much of it. She didn't really treat me as much as a client, as a friend, but it has helped me immensely. And so, like I said, and as far as drugs go, people, I'm not going to give you any illegal drug talk. You know all about the illegal drugs, the whole stuff. But right now, prescription drugs with the antidepressants. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I'm never going to take pills. Those pills are bad. Well, it was never put to me better. And you're going, do you take pills? I take everything people give me, folks. No, I don't. I don't. But it was never put to me better because whenever I first started teaching abnormal psychology, I really was, well, I'm a behaviorist, I'm a cognitive behaviorist, and talk therapy. That'll do it. Well, there was a nurse over at St. John's. We were close friends. It was a gentleman. And one day we were talking, and he said, you know, Ty, I know how you feel about the pills. And I said, yeah. I said, you know, not real crazy about the side effects and things like that. And he said, let me ask you something. He said, you get migraine headaches, don't you? And I said, yes, I get very bad sinus migraine headaches. And he said, what do you do when you get a migraine headache? And I said, well, I usually take some Advil, cold, and Finus, because that's about the only thing that'll, you know, kill the headache, but not knock the holy crap out of it. And he said, so, whenever you're feeling bad, you've got some bad symptoms that are interfering with your life, he said, you take a pill, it gets rid of those symptoms, and then you go on with your life, and your life is better because of it. And I thought about it, and was like, and he was right. Because keep in mind, folks, don't be afraid or ashamed or anything to get help if you do need it. That's why those people are out there. The next thing, also, and this, I just try to think of a little deeper things, but success. Well, I know in America, everyone wants to be a success. And of course, success means lots and lots of money. Well, quite frankly, I disagree. Because to me, success, I looked it up. And I have a list of things that are called quotes to live by. They're really smart people that I actually learned stuff from because they condensed it down into a nice simple form I could understand. But this is a quote from Bill Cosby. I don't know the key to success, but the key to failure is trying to please everyone. And that is absolutely true, folks.
Okay, we're going to need...
Oh, crap! I gotta die. The sooner But consider the consequences of your actions, folks, because yes, you know, it's cool for the tattoos and the piercings and all of that stuff, but picture yourself my age with those things. And yeah, I can hear the groans. And also, too, if at first you don't succeed, try again. But if you don't succeed, then give up. There's no use in being a damn fool. That's what And the most important thing that I've learned, folks, is psychology. If you expect people to be logical and rational, you're going to be disappointed. Because people run on emotion. And quite frankly, I'll just end it right here. Keep in mind that, to me, I think, bless you, if the human race is going to survive, more or less what we're going to have to do is stop thinking with our emotions, our hearts, and all of that, and start thinking with our brains, the more logical, rational thinking. And in this, I don't see it happening either. And we find that, well, let's see here. I'm just going to end it like this. If you want to know the book in my office that has inspired me more than any other book, this is it. It's on display. Everyone will talk. And just to end this, there are going to be people in your life who are very powerful, very rich, they have power over you, and they are going to try and make you feel bad. But please remember, they're people just like us. And in fact, Steve Jobs, is he the fellow with cancer right now? He wipes with more money than I make in a year. But he's got cancer, he may die. And whenever somebody's trying to pull that power trip on you and all of that stuff, just remind yourself, everyone poops. We're all in it together. So,